take off for a trip, Randy. Wes, you got a mother you need to get him back to?
Safe thing to do is track a new course back up on.
Then what we gonna do? Sit out there like a bunch of goddamn ducks? You and your half-breed son get to walk on out?
In that time, this was like 5 years ago, I was going through a difficult period, in a way that I was trying to find something else and approach things in a different way and get out of my comfort zone.
Shalom, Israel, Shalom. Barak through Yahawah, Barak through Yahawashi, Barak through Yahawah, Barak through Yahawashi, Barak through Yahawah, Barak through Yahawashi, Call, Halalyam, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Qadashka, Shemai, Yashavala, Yahawah, Allahayam Nawa, Yahawah, Achad, Lamanya, Wa, Qadashka, Laha, Wa, Tuah, Shalom Israel, I'm Yahawah, Rise this week. This is going to be a quick lesson, but it was inspired by one of the brothers, a Levite brother, and it's about living off the grid. Now, we have gotten to discussions of what would happen if we were forced to take these vaccinations, these injections, or the RFID chip. There will be some that might be scattered abroad, that might have to live off the grid, have to be homeless, And I myself always inquire about when I went through that state, about being on the street, living day to day, off of the little money you can make, and and having your neighbor, y'all having each other's back. That's a tough time to be in. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that food is in your mouth, you have a good place to lay your head, that you're clean and sanitized, and your hygiene is kept up. It's a difficult situation to be in, especially when you are used to making money, having money, and having houses, cars, stuff like that. Thinking you're living a, lavish life or whatever, when or hood life, you're in the streets, and not just that, just being, a regular living, as Israel does. Just live, the way the Most High Yahawah intended it to be, as a family, as a unit, and you're surviving, getting your daily bread from check to check, doing whatever you got to do, knowing that we're under the curses, but still trying to make that good living and try to live amongst your means. But then you'll be stricken, you'll be chastened that quick by Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and I was. But just to say, for the sake of Israel, period, we all could be in that situation, in these troubles, Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? So living off the grid, we know that John the Baptist lived off the grid. He lived off of locusts and honey. We know Yahawashi didn't have a stable place, a stable roof to lay his head. And his favorite meal was fish and honey. And then bread is easily to bake out there. And you people, you should learn how to fish. You should know how to use a firearm in case you need to hunt. You should be able to learn how to, grow vegetation. My father had a green thumb. I got a green thumb, so to speak. It's not, to your standard, I guess. But in that day, I'm pretty sure I'll be endowed with the mental fortitude and the power to do so. You know what I'm saying? So, making fires, so you can keep yourself warm to cook with. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And these are things that the disciples have done. These are the things people living in the wilderness have done that were, Jerusalem, the state of Israel, and then being in the wilderness. Yahawashi being in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights of fasting and praying. He didn't eat anything at all. So just imagine being homeless for 40 days and 40 nights without anything to eat, just concentrating on the will of Yahawah Bahasham, of Yahawah the Father. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, John the Baptist doing the work of Yahawah, but living, eating locusts and honey, you know, but he was willing to do the will, and the disciples dropping everything they had to do to follow Yahawashi to do the work, you know. So it could come to that point, but do you have a mental fortitude? Do you have a spirit to be, to do it? You understand what I'm saying? And ultimately, there's things you can eat. There's things you can do. Like I said, I have a book. Salaki, forgive me. I got a book on, herbs and stuff like that. That my father had that I never knew he had, but he had it. To be able to and roots and stuff like that. Things that for medical purposes and also to for sustenance. And my mother gave it to me. But he always had it a natural remedy like. You know what I'm saying? But lots of herbs and things like that, and nutritional diet. We're going to do a lesson on that, Lord's will, Rawchaa, and try to get some understanding on that. But there's you can eat berries, roots like ginger root, because ginger root, once you tenderize it and boil it, it becomes tender. You can eat that like meat. You have certain barks you can eat, and sap. There's things you could do to live, that you can eat now, not just living off the grid. You know what I'm saying? But what if that was a case where we went into that? Because we know that our forefathers have went through it, and for a time. You understand what I'm saying? And it was inspired for me to do this lesson. I think it's it's inspirational for one, but it's very I think it's a subject, matter that should be brought up and talked about. So living off the grid is one of them, and we'll be able to have, and then, with the power and the will and the faith of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, we will be endowed with spiritual power. So we will survive in that day no matter what circumstances any brother is going through. We will be tested, but we will also have the will of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi with us. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no need to worry or fret, and if you've ever been camping before, I used to go with my nephew, camping. He's like my older nephew, but he taught me how to fish. I've been taught how to cook and do certain things from my father. And I've been camping where you're outside in the wilderness and all you hear is coyotes, wolves, or growling, and under them and crickets. Where you living out off the grid, where you're living in the wilderness, and you're partaking in nature. But that was just a remnant of what a person can look forward to. But as Israel, we have, that spirit to do so. If you can receive it. So, eating stuff like tree bark, stuff like that. Some people will be like, well, you used to eat church chicken. You like some tree bark. What the fuck? But it's all good, though. You never know. But let's get into some scripture. I want to go to Genesis 21:20. Like I said, this is going to be pretty quick, relatively. It was just, I was inspired to do this lesson real fast. 21:20. Genesis 21:20. And Yahawah was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. You know what I mean? And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. So there might be a time you might be with you know, a daughter of Zion, you know, and if she sees the will and the power on you in those days, of course she's going to take on to you, you know, and if she sees the ability through the spirit of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, like being an archer, which is a good hunter, you know, you're able to live off the grid, that will attract her more to you, you know, so you'll have a wife in that day, you know, but aside from having a wife, it's just about survival, you know, living into the wilderness and having the spirit of Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi, you're able to take care of yourself in that day. Let's go to Genesis 37, 37 and 22. 37 and 22. 37. And Reuben, who was the eldest of the 12 tribes, you know, the forefather of the Seminole Indians. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again, which is symbolic for us right now, you know, and which the pit means hell. And the pit being in the wilderness, that's going to be like it being, you know, how we say, well, this is a living hell. It's going to be like that for some people. You understand what I'm saying? Where you might not be able to keep yourself up as far as, you know, hygiene, or get your teeth clean, or, you know, stuff like that. That's hell, you know, trying to find something to eat. You know what I'm saying? But you will see, like Reuben said, you know, you to deliver him to his father again, which is symbolic, you know, what she was talking about, Jacob, but which is symbolic for our father again, you know, because we'll have to go through this trial and tribulation. It's a possibility, you know, but if we endure to the end, we will see our father again. You understand what I'm saying? And he will cover us with the spirit, and cover us with the blood, and keep us sanctified and holy, and separate, keep us clean and separate. He will take care of us. You know, you just got to have faith in knowing that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 31. Deuteronomy 31 and 1 and 31. Salakia, give me 1 and 31. And in the wilderness where thou hast seen how that the Lord thy power bare thee, as a man doth bear his son, and all the way that ye went until ye came into this place. So there's going to be a traveling and bearing the circumstances through the wilderness. You understand what I'm saying? Until we get to this place, until we get to the end, which is the kingdom. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to have to go through some trials, not just now, start now in the troubles, Jacob's trouble, but there might be, it could be a point in time where we're going to have to endure certain things until we get to this place. You understand? And the place is the kingdom. The place is the arrival of our Lord and Savior, our big brother, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go to Deuteronomy 2 and 7. 2 and 7. For the Lord thy power hath blessed thee in all the works of thy hand. He knoweth thy walking through this great wilderness these 40 years. The Lord thy power hath been with thee. Thou hast lacked nothing. So, talking about now and later, and for future reference, at any point in time, the Lord has been with us, and we have lacked nothing. You know why? Because faith and belief in the will and power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. If you have been faithful and true, like he's been faithful and true to you, and you keep the faith and belief, you have lacked nothing. You have not been without. You've been able to eat in this day, to drink in this day, and as long as you continue to praise and worship the name Yahawah, the name Yahawashi HaMashiach, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Yahawah in the name of Yahawashi, you know, and you've lacked nothing, you know, and there could be a point of time in that day where we might be in the wilderness, but you will lack nothing, you know, because the Lord is with you. You know, let's go to Lamentations 4 and 19. Lamentations 4 and 19. Lamentations 4 and 19. And it says, 4 and 19, and it says, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven. And we know that America, symbolic for Babylon, the revised Roman Empire, symbolizes the eagle. You know what I mean? And then the eagles of the heaven, they pursued us. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. You know. Then the breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Which we're doing. We're living amongst the heathen. You understand what I'm saying? Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. As he's doing right now. He's being drunken with his own philosophies, making thyself naked. You understand what I'm saying? And he is, because his tongue is falling over itself. You know what I mean? They're being found out. The veil is being lifted. So as long as we continue to use knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we're able to also go through the wilderness right now, this pit, and be able to be sanctified by Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi to survive through these trials and tribulations, but also in the day, because we will be persecuted and pursued after. And the Lord will be over us as they hover over us like an eagle. You know, we will be saved out of it. You understand what I'm saying? And daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity. O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins. You understand what I'm saying? We will be carried no more, away in captivity. We'll be all right in the day. You best believe that. You understand what I'm saying? And we will, as long as we stay faithful and true, and continuously, give reverence and thanks to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, knowing that they have no stronghold, no matter what they try to do, no matter what they try to pull. You know what I'm saying? Nobody will be taking any type of injection. No RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. No slave to anything. And if we have to live off the grid and you try to persecute and pursue us, so be it. It means nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Because, they will visit thine iniquity. They'll visit their own sin. They'll be trodden against. You know what I'm saying? But also we will be saved out of it. Let's go to Psalm 74 and 14. This is it right here. Psalm 74 and 14. And it says, 74 and 14. Though thou breakest the heads of the Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Let's read that again. Psalm 74 and 14. Though thou breakest the head of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. And we all know the book of Job and the story of Leviathan. You understand what I'm saying? That, and we know this to be true, that there'll be a day where the Lord will call upon this magnificent beast of his that he he loves. And in that day, his head will be broken upon, to where he will feed the masses in the wilderness. Say, for instance, there is no food. We've done all we can do. We've used all our spiritual power, all our cunning and craftiness to survive. The Lord can, anoint us and give us power to do such a thing. You know what I mean? As to be able to get to destroy Leviathan and eat. And so we may have meat in that day to survive. But we know Leviathan is a massive sea monster creature, But that would be meat for that day, Who knows what can happen, because nothing's out the realm of possibility for the Lord. But you better not forget that this is in these scriptures. It is written. This is written. So you have to understand that these things have not. There's some things that are not have yet not come to pass. Salaki. So there's these things that you can look forward to, but have neither, don't be afraid, neither doubt. You understand what I'm saying? This was just a quick impromptu, didn't want to be too long. I kind of was inspired about that living off the grid. You know what I'm saying? So it could be that day where we might be living off locusts and honey. You know what I mean? But try to gather a taste for it. That means you got to visualize it in your mind. Fish and bread to keep the poor man fed. You know what I'm saying? You heard that saying from, from the hood. Berries, roots, even the tree bark, and not just that, having spiritual power so we can survive in that day. You understand? And that day will be great, because we have the Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham, Rawchaa, who's with us and who will sup with us. Can't you agree? Call Halalyam, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Qadashka. I like to say double honors to my elders and apostles who speak this truth in sincerity, who do well. Peace and salutations to all the Akim spread abroad, spitting this fire. And I like to say blessings to the sisters, the Aqua that are listening and learning, sisters loyal to the soil. You know what I'm saying? Shalom is Kwam Yasharala. Rise his way. And remember to love Yahawah, Yahawashi, like they. Shalom is gird